Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to start, Mr. Maresca, just for clarification purposes. Uh, to be clear, the Office of Advocacy is part of the U.S. Small Business Administration, a federal okay, the federal agency, or the chief counsel for the federal agency who heads the office is an appointee of President Obama. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you. With the questions that I have for you on this issue, why did the Office of Advocacy decide to send a comment letter to the National Toxicology Program regarding the report on carcinogens?
We did hear from a number of small businesses and their representatives that there was a problem with the 12th rock. When we looked into it, we realized that there was going to be an impact on small business as a result of the listing of those substances, and as a result, we sent that letter.
Great. What does advocacy think the National Toxicology Program can do to improve the report on carcinogens? What would be your input on that?
Well, as we said in our letter, we think that they can do a weight of evidence analysis during the process, looking more completely at the contradictory data as well as the data that supports the listing. We think that they can also improve the peer review and public comment process by including in those stages some response to the public comment and to the peer reviews.
Thank you, Mr. Maresca. And Dr. Birnbaum, on that last response from Mr. Maresca, what do you do with the public comments? Do you respond to all the public comments, and to what point in the process does this occur before the report is public?
Thank you for the question, Mrs. Ellmers. The public comments come at different stages, as I said before, and we listen to them, we consider them. They often lead to changes in what we determine or modifications in how we do things. For the 12th report, we did respond to all the public comments at the time that the document was released. For the 13th report, we intend to have the public comments actually discussed at the expert peer review meeting.
Now, as the NTP develops the 13th edition of the report on carcinogens, do you think that the potential regulatory consequences of listing a substance should be considered? Now, I know, as you have pointed out, that this is a hazard assessment document, but because sometimes it seems to be used as this, do you think that this might improve it if we did look at it as the potential regulatory consequences?
Our charge from the Congress is to evaluate the potential for compounds to be a known carcinogen or reasonably anticipated carcinogen. Our charge is not to consider regulatory consequences.
Okay, one last question. When new studies are published that provide additional scientific information regarding a substance already listed as a known carcinogen or reasonably anticipated to be a carcinogen, does the NTP review the new information and re-examine the listing decision?
If new information becomes available that might question the listing or cause a change in the listing, NTP will, if it is nominated to us or we self-nominate, we will begin the process of evaluating it and can alter the listing about whether something can actually be removed from the list or downgraded or revised.
One of the, with your response, one of the issues that's been raised is the time frame that we're talking about. How quickly does the NTP review and re-examine the listing decisions, and does it take months or years?
It would depend upon the topic and the compound and the amount of new data that becomes available and how important that new data is. But I can tell you that even at the times of the external peer review in response to public comments can have an impact on how we might list or not list a compound.
Thank you very much to both of you for your responses, and I yield back the remainder of my time.